What do you love about this property?
Thought you'd never ask. Well, I'm going to start with the most important thing, which is the last thing you said. Looking at an asset that is risk mitigated, that you do not have to take outsized risk. You do not have to speculate. Looking at an asset that produces almost a 13% return on your money each and every year is really hard to find in this economy right now. So I love the IRR on this, like I love the IRR on all the properties I bring to you, right? If you see that roughly around, call it that 11%, 12%, sometimes creeping up a little bit higher IRR, and that's what we have here. Beyond that, I love the neighborhood that this home is in.
Oh, tell me more.
There are 4 neighborhoods that we are going to put your assets in. There are 4 neighborhoods in Jacksonville that we focus on. One is called the North Side. One is called the West Side. One is called Arlington, and one is called South Side. Oh my goodness. North Side, West Side, Arlington, and South Side. And all 4 of those neighborhoods, I love the same. They're like my kids. I love them all, right? I love them all the same. But this one is really in particular here. I wanted to point out this one is pretty cool because if you think about the birthplace of that build to rent phenomenon, which is a phenomenon now, we started to do build to rent in 2011, was this neighborhood that I'm showing you here on Jasper Avenue. So that we're live there on the map there.
We are live there on the map. So you see?
So what you're going to see here are all of these blue dots of homes that JWB has either built or renovated and sold to clients and is currently managing. So if you have that question, if you're an out-of-state investor and you're like, how does JWB really know what my home is going to rent for? When you look at a map like this and you see the amount of activity that we have in the city, 5,600 plus homes that we manage, and then you zoom in to see the property that you would be buying, and you see this many homes that we manage in a mile radius, that answer should become very clear, right? It is about the volume of activity we do in a small place, which makes more of a positive impact for our community and reduces risk for you and allows us to run our business better. And I don't know if there's a better example of that than Jasper Avenue.
Love it. And we talk a lot about this data flywheel. Shout out to Tara. And the reason why it's really important. So what we talk a lot about on the show about is, number one, the economies of scale at which you're able to operate when you have that much density. I zoomed in and out so that everybody could see all the different properties all around Jacksonville, right? That's a giant population cluster. And then as you zoomed into the actual neighborhood, it was one of the more dense areas of things. Like the lime green arrow did not show up until like multiple zoom-ins because there was so many all compiled into each other. What that essentially means as an investor for me is that there's generally going to be a maintenance person or somebody that has to do with JWB somewhere around that area without necessarily needing to be at my home. And that's just more eyes, more capacity, more purchasing power, right? Like your contractors know the area because they're around there. Your contractors know that you are feeding them all these different points of data, and therefore you get the best prices, you get the best service. You're the 8,000-pound gorilla because you spend $7 million a month in construction costs, right? 7 million, is that right?
No, it's not right. But,
numbers.
Probably like four.
I'm not
but,
the numbers guy.
I think people know by this point that they just, you're just a few numbers off every time. So I think they're okay with it.
Yeah. So that's one thing, right? This like economies of scale, operational capacity. The other thing is the data flywheel, right? The idea that there's these 5,000 data points, that's a number that I feel pretty good about, that are always feeding these deal evaluations, right? Like when we put the course together, we talked about the data that goes into it and how to trust it. And there was just kind of like multiple levels of how much you can trust it. The average turnkey rental property person is taking it from a book, right? Like they're just like, oh, okay, well, I took this education course and now I'm doing this thing. And this is what I should put here for maintenance expense and for vacancy rate. The slightly better rental property person is doing it based on market comparables. They're like making some calls and they're finding out the market area. The really, really professional property manager that does this for a living and operates like a Fortune 500 company or a Silicon Valley company that has a data flywheel is taking proprietary data of other homes that are like yours in the same area with the same type of resident profile, with the same type of like maintenance profile and same price points and whatnot, and are giving you a real historical average number that has been really teased out. And that to me is the most attractive part of having these many, many, many data points all clustered together.
You excuse me, you nailed it, brother.
Well, thanks, buddy.